go to Chief Secretary to the Treasury. We're delighted to welcome John Glen the morning after the day before. John, you see all your hard work turned into a speech. You'll see all the newspapers today and the reaction. Has it given you the reaction that you were looking for?
Well, my job is to focus on making the right decisions, supporting the Chancellor and doing the best I can to get the economy in the best shape so that we can grow, get us out of the situation we're in with respect to growth. It's not as high as I would like, but there's lots of encouragement from the OBR in the fact that we are not going to be in a recession this year. Inflation is down. And obviously the interventions we've made are designed to expand the labour market, encourage businesses to invest so that we can grow the economy faster and provide us more choices and hopefully get that tax burden down.
Do you think that these changes to pensions will bring that many people back into the labour market? Because there's been some criticism this morning that it really won't make any really material difference. And actually, as The Guardian have it, it's a giveaway for the 1% in a cost of living crisis.
Yeah, I think the Guardian headlines were pretty predictable, but the driver for this policy was what the BMA wanted for consultants, senior doctors who across the country are deciding not to stay for perhaps the last 10 years of their working life. We need those people to make that decision to continue to work in the NHS right now, given the backlogs. I recognise it has implications across the whole economy doing it this way, but there are also lots of senior people in other professions who, if we could have done it quickly, which is very doubtful, for just one profession, would have then launched legal challenges. So that's why we did it in the way that we did, but it will have a direct impact. And of course, Wes Streeting, just a few months ago, the shadow spokesman for the Labour Party, said that he would have done the same. I don't know whether that's their position today after the Guardian headline.
Well, he would have done the same because you're stealing all their policies. You're sitting, you've looked at their homework, you've snatched their homework, and you're going to get a gold star for it.
I sit there and think, what can we do to grow the economy as well as possible, whilst maintaining investment in public services, avoiding any return to austerity.
But John, let me ask you this: does it really matter when we look at those headlines overnight and we look at the Credit Suisse bank and what's happened there? I mean, that's a couple of American banks now. You've got Credit Suisse, you've got the Swiss National Bank stepping in to stabilise things. Does it matter what you think of, what you do in relation to the global market? Because how unstable is that? How worried about that are you?
Well, Treasury ministers don't comment on market activities, but I'm very aware of what's happening. I was a city minister for a very long time, for 4.5 years, and the regulators will be working very closely with those institutions affected. I mean, I was very pleased at the weekend that Sam Woods and the Prudential Regulatory Authority in the UK were working very closely with the Treasury to make sure that we could find a solution for Silicon Valley Bank subsidiary in the UK, which was a great outcome. But obviously I'm aware of what's happening, and regulators in Switzerland and in other jurisdictions will be working with institutions to try and bring clarity and stability to the markets. Obviously the adjustment from higher interest rate environment has had implications for how financial institutions function.
And just on that, how confident are you that there won't be contagion within the markets, within the banks, here in the UK?
We have excellent regulators in the UK. I work very closely with them, and I know that we will do everything that is necessary should those conditions change in the UK.
I just want to pick up on the point you're making about, the global picture. And, people were saying yesterday you're taking all the credit for reducing inflation by the end of the year. But, arguably that's the picture for everybody. We're seeing cost of energy going down and all the rest of it. Where you could have made a difference was on taxes. We're hearing yesterday living standards expected to fall by the largest amount since records began. And as you know, the tax burden the highest in 70 years. Why did you increase corporation tax? It's the big one that everyone said was not necessary. Your own party, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for example.
Well, I'm very aware of Jacob's views. They'll never change. But the reality is that we still have the lowest corporation tax rate in the G7. And with this, what we call full expensing, where basically all investment in new capital and machinery can be set against tax, that will mean a 27 billion tax cut for businesses over the next 3 years. That is a significant stimulant to growth in the economy. And what we saw, and the question that should be asked of those who think we should maintain the 19%, something that Jacob and others voted for 2 years ago, was what effect did that actually have on investment? And the truth is that it didn't give us the investment that we wanted. And so now we've linked those two together. We still have the most competitive corporation tax in the G7,